What's up, Reefers? Welcome to Alex Pora Corals. This is Alex Wilson, your host, and this is my daily video log. That's right, daily video log where I'm giving you hopefully the details where you can learn from my mistakes as we go. So let's check it out. Yep, here we are today, and I still have the Dino Flagellate Nightmare. That's right, I have the brown slime absolutely everywhere. However, what I did yesterday was, in addition to I brought the lights down to 20% as I said. However, I went ahead and turned them off for the day. So that's right, they've been off for 24 hours here. So let's check it out and see but basically 1 day blackout looks like on here as far as the dinos go. That's right, so one day blackout, and yeah, what I can see is that brown slime is stopped in its tracks. That's right, and certainly wasn't expecting it to be this much, but it just grows so quick that it certainly is impressive just how, I would stir the sand up, it would have brown slime, I would stir the sand up, and then I can even hardly get my hand out of the aquarium just a minute later, and it's still like reconstituted itself. You could see the sharp brown color of the brown slime on the sand bed. And so, now I'm just turning on the lights for the sake of this video, and I'm going to go back to the 100% blues with just the 20% power and see how that does. But certainly, happy with the results here of just the 24 hours. Certainly knocked it back, and that's the idea. Just to grow so quick, so just slow things down, give a chance for your microfauna to eat this stuff, because that's what eats this stuff. Dinoflagellates, brown slime, green slime, absolutely everything. The microfauna, there's something in your microfauna that will eat this, guys. So copepods, so just get things back in balance with the microfauna. Here's a shot of my clams and everything still alive after a 1 day blackout. So, and I'm pretty satisfied with that, because I don't think you can do a 3-day blackout. It could do that, but I don't think there's anything wrong with just doing a little bit more gradual of just a 1 day, and perhaps give the corals a few days or a week or whatever to recover, and just have kind of bring this brown slime under control little by little, as opposed to something that might be a little too extreme. The 3 days, certainly harsh on the corals, but I do have, you can't even hardly see them, but there are a few. Here we go. Here's a few brown streamers right here, streaming all the way up. They just appeared overnight, so I'm gonna hit those off in a second. But check, Possidopora is still slimed over, and of course everything is all closed. Green Slimer, everything else I kind of moved around, just trying to get. So certainly I see a little bit of dusting there on the glass. I don't know if that's just the diatoms, or whether that's just absolutely the same brown, like a different phase of the dinos on the glass. But I guess I'll just call them on the glass just the diatoms, and all this other stuff is the dinos, just the brown slime. Here's a little bit of it there. And so check back for the next update here, see what's going to go on. I'm going to leave the lights on for just 20% power. So check back for the next one to see what it looks like that. As far as the corals are concerned here, the Gilfungia looking good. Yesterday had a whole bunch just real thick all around them and all on top of them and everywhere. So definitely looks a little bit better there. Dinoflagellates, just incredible how quick it grows. Absolutely insane, right, Yellow Tank? We got brown algae all over the place. Brown slime all over his nose, all over his face, on his tail right there, all stuck on his on his spike there on the base of his tail. That's one mess, right? But all the others, certainly in a huge algae bloom. Certainly, the diatoms have been insane, as well as the other greens in here. I could tell as well as the coralline algae still growing like saying, even though it's underneath, all of these, all of the brown slime, right? So I just slow things down, let things go back into balance. One thing of note is that the chemically on here just didn't seem to work. I don't know why. Maybe it was just a coincidence. On the quarantine system that my 20-gallon quarantine system, I did use the clean on there. It seemed to work like clockwork, but maybe it just disappeared on its own, and it wasn't the chemically. Yeah. So I don't know. Chemically is mentions red slime, but also mentions a bunch of other slimes that is supposedly effective against. So what can I say? What can we say, Yellow Tang, is that we don't know. We need more studies, more scientific studies to be done. But one thing I can tell you is, see right there is I've seen a little bit of the cyanobacteria, and that's these red patches here and there. So and I'm gonna have added the chemically just a couple of days ago, just on top. So certainly maybe it's possible that it can become immune to the antibiotics, because as I believe the chemically is mostly an antibiotic, as I understand it. So certainly do have some red slime patches here and there. That's apart, different from the brown slimes, so that certainly have a different color here, or it could be a different stage of the same organism, if possible too. But going with just it being different, so keep an eye on those, and continue to hit them with the toothbrush and the chemically as well. Possibly in the future at some time. But kind of trying to let the protein skimmer settle down and pull out as much as possible, because I'm a firm believer thus far. Need scientific proof, but it's just from overfeeding, and overfeeding just creates an excess in dissolved organics. It just that causes a severe algae bloom with these brown slime. So that just think that you get the protein skimmer on it going 100% and ripping everything out, and or water changes, but I don't do that many water changes, only when I have to. But I'm just going with this for now. And so here's a shot of my coral scrubber down here. And yeah, same thing down here. I turned the light completely off just in case, because it seemed like there's a lot of those browns were just actually floating in the water everywhere. Not down here, but up on top. So went ahead and turned off the lights down here for 24 hours as well. And everything looks okay thus far. So alright guys, well that's a quick update on this one, but check back to see what's going on with these browns and the lower light intensity. But yeah, super huge difference there. See what it does for next time. Let's check out the coral quarantine really quick, if you want to check it out. What do we got over here? Got that toadstool. It's just doing so well right there. Might have to, it's almost touching over here the orange digitata right there, so might have to move one or the other. Maybe the toadstool to the left a little bit, or the orange digitata to another spot. Other than that, everything else in here is looking pretty well as far as I can tell, and nice and clear. I am getting just a hint of the diatoms here coming up through the gravel up onto the glass a little bit, but not super fast. And do have a little bit on the back glass over here, especially around the dragon soul and the Christmas parietes and the Diphastia back here. So it's certainly relatively slow growing. So I'm just cleaned off the parts that I can see of it, but there it is. And certainly gonna just use that as that's a good indicator, as mentioned by Mark Vanderwall here on Reef Therapy on Reef Builders. So that's probably a good indicator, to keep an eye on, is how keep an eye on how fast your diatoms are growing, how fast you have to clean the glass. It could be just your glass gets cleaned up from bacteria as well. How often you're cleaning the glass, the silicone on the glass, and how fast around the crushed coral, if you have the gravel around that area, there is a good indicator. So if you're doing more than once a day, or once a day is too much, lower the feeding, and ideally it probably should be twice a week or so. And then if you're saying you're able to go longer than that, up to a month, 2 months without having to clean your glass, that's a good indicator that you could probably feed a little bit more and bring it up a little bit like that. But that certainly seems, just increase your feeding seems to kick off with this algae blooms, and I know that it's not directly, at least in my opinion, the nitrate fun phosphate nor the potassium levels. I'm sure that it contributes. I'm sure that they use those on the one hand. Of course, it's also possible the cyanobacteria in particular, and possibly some of the brown slimes, they might fix their own nitrogen. So but that said, though, you have they use what they're going to use with the nitrate and phosphate, and it doesn't, in my opinion, directly cause a bloom. I think it's just the excess of dissolved organics, and it's possible a nitrite and ammonia spikes, So all right, guys, well, that's it. Just wait to get your systems back into balance as far as that goes. But all right, check you on the next update. Happy reefing. Bye.